Have you ever said something to a man, something small, maybe even offhand, and noticed that his whole energy shifted? That moment where he looked at you differently, with more respect, more admiration, almost like something inside him just clicked. What if I told you there are certain things you can say to a man that go beyond attraction? Things that don't just make him want you, but make him value you, commit to you, and cherish you. When you speak to a man in a way that affirms his purpose, you activate something deep inside him. You're not just complimenting his appearance or his charm. You're tapping into his drive, his mission, the part of him that wants to build contribute and be someone of value in the world . So many people tell men they're handsome, sexy, or strong. And sure, those things matter. But what makes a woman unforgettable to a man is when she sees the part of him that not everyone sees. The part that he is trying to become. When you acknowledge his intention his vision or even the effort he's putting into figuring it all out you're doing something incredibly rare. You're seeing his soul, not just his surface. A woman might say, "I love how passionate you are about your work," or "I admire the way you're building something that matters." These are simple statements, but they carry immense power. They make a man feel like he's seen like someone actually understands what's driving him at his core. It's not flattery, it's recognition . It's the difference between saying, "You're so hot," and saying, "There's something in the way you go after what you want that I find incredibly attractive." The second one, that's what makes a man want to level up for you. It reaches beyond his ego and speaks directly to his identity. So many men go through life wearing masks, being strong, being composed, being together. But when a woman notices the moments when he's trying to grow, even if he hasn't arrived yet, that's when she becomes a source of emotional fuel in his life, not because she's fixing him or mothering him, but because she's reminding him that his journey is worthy that his growth is attractive that the man he is becoming is just as lovable as the man he is today. You show him that you're not just focused on who he is right now, but who he wants to be and that's magnetic. You don't have to use big, dramatic statements. Sometimes it's as small as saying, "I noticed how much effort you've been putting into that project. It's inspiring." Or, "You're someone who clearly wants to leave a mark, and I really respect that." These moments hit different. They land on a level most people never access because they're too busy focusing on external things. But a man will never forget the woman who spoke to his internal compass. He may be used to attention for what he has but when someone values what he's building what he's driven by that sticks with him. It draws him in not just physically, but emotionally. When you show a man that you respect his effort and not just the outcome, you instantly separate yourself from most of the world. Society often places value only on results, how much money he makes, how impressive his title is, how quickly he achieves something. But the truth is, effort reveals character. It shows resilience, integrity, and the willingness to show up even when success isn't guaranteed. And when a woman notices that kind of effort, even when things haven't fully come together yet, it hits a man on a deeper level. It tells him that you're not just here for the shine, you're here for the substance. You see who he is, not just what he has to offer. It might sound simple, but it's rare. Most people wait to praise a man after he's already won. They celebrate the promotion, the success, the polished version of the journey. But when you say something like, "I can see how hard you've been working on that," or "It's impressive how committed you are, even when things aren't easy," you're validating the struggle, not just the result. You're creating a safe space where he doesn't feel like he has to be perfect to be appreciated. That emotional safety, that's rare, that's royal, and it's what makes a man start to look at you with loyalty in his eyes. A man may be used to people only being around when things are going well, but when you respect the process, when you admire how he handles setbacks, how he stays consistent, how he pushes himself, you become someone he trusts. He starts to realize you're not measuring him by the world's scoreboard, but by the values you see in him. You're showing that you recognize the courage it takes to keep going when the path isn't clear. And that means more to him than you know. It's not about lowering standards, it's about appreciating the climb, not just the destination. Words have power, and the way you speak about his effort can be the difference between him feeling judged and him feeling understood. It's the woman who says, "I know it's been a tough time, but I respect how you're handling it," who becomes unforgettable. Because you're not there just for the win, you're there for the journey, and that's something he doesn't get every day. You're showing maturity, emotional depth, and a high level of emotional intelligence by recognizing that growth isn't always linear and results don't always show up right away. When a man feels like you value his persistence, his grind, and his willingness to keep showing up despite setbacks, he starts to associate you with strength and softness at the same time. He sees that you're someone who doesn't need perfection to offer appreciation, and that kind of emotional generosity is incredibly rare. It becomes a source of quiet confidence for him, a reminder that he doesn't have to have it all together to be worthy of admiration. Expressing standards without ultimatums is one of the most powerful things a woman can do in a relationship. It's not about controlling someone or forcing them to meet your expectations. It's about calmly and confidently stating what you value and what you're willing to accept. This kind of communication doesn't push a man away. It actually draws him closer. It tells him that you have self-respect, that you know your worth, and that you're not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't align with the kind of life and love you're trying to build. It doesn't come from a place of fear or manipulation. It comes from strength, certainty, and clarity. Most people don't set standards, they set traps. They issue threats, they give ultimatums, and they try to pressure someone into behaving a certain way. But that energy creates resistance. It puts someone on the defensive, and it removes their ability to choose to rise. The magic happens when you give a man the freedom to meet your standard without force. When you express your needs without blame or desperation, it creates space for him to choose to meet you there because he wants to, not because he's afraid of losing you. Saying something like, "Consistency matters to me. I value reliability in the people I let close to me," is so much more effective than saying, "If you cancel on me one more time, I'm done." The first one comes from a place of self-worth. It's an invitation, not a threat. It says, "Here's who I am and what I value," and it gives him the dignity to respond like an adult. When you do this, you're not just telling him about your standards. You're showing him that you live by them. That's what inspires respect. That's what makes a man step up without being asked. When you own your standards without resentment, a man feels the difference. He doesn't feel manipulated. He feels challenged in a healthy way. He feels invited into something higher. It's attractive when a woman can say, I'm looking for something meaningful, and I value emotional presence and commitment. Without flinching, without apologizing, and without needing the other person to immediately agree. That level of emotional neutrality and strength creates desire. It tells a man that your value isn't dependent on whether he gives you what you want. It's already intact. A man will test your boundaries, sometimes unintentionally, just to see how you respond. And when you calmly reaffirm your values without turning it into drama, you gain more power in that moment than 1,000 emotionally charged arguments ever could. You're not trying to convince him of anything. You're simply letting him know the asterisk level asterisk at which you operate. And that energy, where love is offered but not begged for, where connection is welcomed but never chased, is what sets you apart. It creates a dynamic where a man sees you as someone who can't be swayed by temporary affection because you're anchored in long-term value. Admiring his leadership without losing your power is a delicate yet transformative balance that speaks volumes about the kind of woman you are. Most men desire to feel needed, not in a dependent way, but in a way that recognizes their ability to provide, protect, and guide. When you acknowledge a man's leadership, whether it's in how he makes decisions, handles stress, or supports those around him, you activate something primal in him. It touches his inner sense of masculinity, of purpose, of being someone who matters. But what makes this truly powerful is when you do it from a place of your own strength, when you're not surrendering your voice or dimming your light in the process. There is a world of difference between submission and appreciation. The former involves giving up your agency. The latter is rooted in conscious recognition. When a woman says, "I love how clear you are when you make decisions," or "I really admire the way you take responsibility and lead with calm confidence," she isn't making herself small. She's amplifying what she respects while still holding onto her own sense of value. A confident man doesn't want a woman who follows blindly. He wants a woman who sees his leadership and chooses to respect it, because she knows she has the power to walk away if that leadership ever becomes unworthy of her trust. The most compelling dynamic happens when both people are in their power, but each is comfortable acknowledging what they appreciate in the other. A man doesn't need you to mirror his strength. He needs to feel that yours is complementary. He wants to feel capable and trusted, and when you let him lead in areas where he excels, you're not giving something up. You're showing confidence in your own feminine energy. That's what creates polarity. That's what builds tension, attraction, and mutual admiration. This doesn't mean letting someone control your life or make all the choices for you. It means creating space for a man to be the best version of himself without turning everything into competition. When you say, "I feel really grounded when I'm around you," you have this steady energy I admire. You're speaking to the core of what makes him feel alive. And the key is, you're doing it from a place of self-awareness. You're not relying on his leadership to define you. You're simply choosing to celebrate it, to call it out, and to allow it to complement your own confidence. Men are often told they have to be stoic and unshakable, but they rarely hear from someone they admire that their leadership actually makes a difference. When you give him that kind of praise, intentional, specific, and coming from a strong woman who knows her own worth, it doesn't weaken you. It strengthens the bond. It shows him that being a leader around you is not about control, but about collaboration with someone who sees, appreciates, and respects the way he shows up in the world. Letting a man know you feel safe with him when it's earned is one of the most emotionally significant gifts you can give. Safety isn't just physical, it's emotional, psychological, and energetic. It's the feeling that you can exhale in someone's presence, that you don't have to be in defense mode, that you're not constantly scanning for red flags or inconsistencies. When a man hears that he makes you feel safe, and when he knows it comes from a place of sincerity and self-awareness, something powerful happens inside him. It activates his protector instinct. It deepens his emotional investment. It tells him that who he's being is working at the deepest level, not just impressing, but connecting. But this can only be said when it's true. When a woman says it too soon, before it's earned, it can come off as naive or overly trusting. But when you've watched how a man listens, how he responds to your vulnerability, how he respects your boundaries and shows consistency, then acknowledging that safety becomes a form of emotional intimacy. It's not just a compliment, it's confirmation. You're reflecting back to him the very thing he's trying to create. It tells him he's not just being liked for what he shows, but for who he truly is and how he makes you feel. When you're with him, a man may hear compliments on his success, his intelligence, even his attractiveness, but very few people tell him that his presence makes someone feel safe, that his words have weight, that his consistency builds trust, that his way of being creates calm. That kind of feedback doesn't just stroke his ego. It feeds his identity. It tells him he is seen for something far deeper than surface level appeal. It reassures him that the energy he brings into a space has impact, and not in a loud, attention-seeking way, but in the way that matters most. Emotional stability. You can express this in quiet, honest moments, a simple "I feel really calm when I'm with you," or "There's something about your presence that makes me feel like I can let my guard down," can shift the emotional dynamic of a relationship instantly. It invites more depth, it encourages more openness, and it builds a kind of loyalty that isn't based on chemistry or convenience, but on emotional trust. The reason this kind of statement hits differently is because it doesn't come from a place of dependence. It comes from a place of discernment. You're not saying, "I need you to feel safe." You're saying, "I am safe with you because you've shown me through your actions and consistency that I can be." That distinction makes all the difference. It's high value, it's rooted in emotional intelligence, and it tells him that you're paying attention to how he shows up, not just for himself, but for you. When a woman with boundaries and standards acknowledges the safety a man provides, it reinforces everything he wants to be in a relationship without him needing to be told directly what to do. Speaking from value, not from neediness, is what defines a woman who commands deep respect and lasting attraction. When you communicate from a place of value, your words carry a different frequency. You're not seeking validation. You're offering insight, presence, and truth. There's a calm, quiet confidence in how you speak. You're not trying to convince someone of your worth. You're simply expressing it. You're not asking someone to choose you to feel enough. You already know you're enough. And your words are a reflection of that inner knowing. That energy doesn't just shift how you're heard. It shifts how you're seen. Neediness, on the other hand, is a grasping energy. It's rooted in fear, in scarcity, in the belief that if someone doesn't choose you, then something must be wrong with you. It shows up as over-explaining, oversharing, or trying to earn affection. But when you speak from value, you let go of that chase. You speak with clarity. You're able to say what you want without desperation. You can express what matters to you without fearing that it'll scare someone off. You're okay with the fact that not everyone will match your standards, because you'd rather be respected by the right person than liked by everyone. It might be something as simple as saying, "I really enjoy our connection, and I'm looking for something that's emotionally present and consistent. That sentence, when spoken from neediness, can sound like a plea, but when spoken from value, it becomes a filter. You're not asking for reassurance. You're sharing your truth and letting the other person rise to it or not. There's no emotional collapse if they don't. That's what makes it so powerful. When a man hears that energy, he knows he's in the presence of someone who will not be manipulated. Someone who doesn't settle. Someone who is selective because she can be the key is emotional. Neutrality. When your words are rooted in peace rather than panic, in truth rather than fear, they carry weight. You're not trying to get a reaction. You're simply stating reality. You're not looking for someone to fill a void. You're looking for someone who aligns with your values and direction. That shifts the entire dynamic. It makes a man feel that he's engaging with a woman who knows who she is, and who brings value to any relationship she's part of, not because she's trying to impress, but because she's already full. Men are drawn to women who speak from this place because it signals emotional maturity. It tells him that she's not fragile, not waiting to be saved, not clinging to an idea of love that only works if it's constantly validated. She is whole on her own, and any connection she builds is an addition, not a lifeline. That's the kind of energy that earns respect and inspires devotion, not because she asked for it, but because she simply embodied it through how she spoke, how she carried herself, and how she communicated her standards without ever lowering them to be accepted.